Most gardeners attack hard soil the wrong way. They grab a shovel, a tiller, or a bag of sand and try to force the soil to loosen mechanically. It works for a week, sometimes a season, and then the ground settles right back into a brick. The reason is simple. Compacted soil isn't really a physical problem, it's a biological one. When I pushed my finger into the surface, the top 2 inches had already loosened. By the end of the week, the soil crumbled instead of forming hard clods. Nothing was tilled. The microbes did the structural work. In larger backyard gardens, the approach is similar, but the scale changes. I typically mix about 1 cup of microbial solution into a standard 20-litre watering can and apply it over roughly 10 square meters of soil. The key is moisture. Microbes only multiply when the soil stays damp, so applying this before a rainfall or watering lightly afterward dramatically speeds the process. Dry soil slows microbial growth, which is why some gardeners try microbial products once and assume they don't work. In reality, the soil simply didn't stay wet enough for the microbes to expand. Another thing worth correcting is the common advice to add sand to clay soil. Sand does not fix compaction unless it's added in massive quantities, which almost never happens in a backyard garden. In fact, small amounts of sand mixed with clay often create a concrete-like texture. Microbial activity, on the other hand, builds aggregates that mimic the effect gardeners are actually looking for. Those aggregates create the loose, crumbly structure people call good tilth, and microbes build it naturally. Organic matter plays an important supporting role here. Microbes need food. When you apply a microbial drench to soil that contains no organic residues, the microbial population rises briefly and then crashes. But if the soil contains compost, mulch, old roots, or leaf fragments, those materials become fuel for microbial growth. That's why I often apply microbial solutions directly over mulch layers. The liquid seeps through, microbes multiply, and the mulch begins decomposing faster, feeding the soil underneath. In my own garden beds, I usually spread a thin layer of shredded leaves or compost about 2 centimeters thick before applying the microbial drench. Then I water it in thoroughly. Within 2 weeks, the soil underneath becomes noticeably softer. When planting seedlings, the difference is obvious because the root zone opens easily instead of resisting the trowel. Interestingly, microbial activation also improves how water moves through the soil. Compacted ground tends to repel water or channel it through cracks. When microbes rebuild soil aggregates, the soil begins absorbing water evenly again. That means less runoff and deeper moisture penetration. Plants respond quickly because roots can finally move through the soil instead of circling in dense pockets. Hydroponic growers sometimes dismiss soil microbes entirely, but that's a mistake. Beneficial microbes are widely used in hydroponic systems to stabilize root zones and prevent pathogen outbreaks. The difference is that in hydroponics they colonize the root surfaces instead of the soil itself. I've run microbial teas in deep water culture systems where they dramatically reduced root rot problems while improving nutrient uptake. The same biological principles apply in soil. Microbes build a healthier environment around plant roots. Timing also matters when applying microbial solutions. Early spring and early fall are ideal because soil temperatures allow microbial populations to grow quickly. Applying these treatments during extreme heat or when soil temperatures drop below about 10 degrees Celsius slows the biological response. The microbes survive, but they reproduce more slowly. Another detail that experienced growers notice is smell. Healthy soil has a distinct earthy aroma caused by compounds produced by actinomycetes, a group of beneficial soil bacteria. When microbial activity increases after a soil drench, that smell becomes stronger. It's one of the simplest indicators that soil life is returning. Of course, microbial solutions aren't magic. If the soil is severely compacted from heavy machinery or repeated foot traffic, you may still need to loosen it once initially with a fork or broad fork to open channels for air and water. But after that first intervention, microbial activity can maintain the structure naturally without constant tilling. The long-term advantage is stability. Soil built by microbes doesn't collapse the way mechanically loosened soil does. The biological glues that microbes produce hold aggregates together, even after heavy rain. That means beds stay loose longer, drainage improves, and plant roots explore deeper layers of soil where nutrients accumulate. After using this approach for several seasons, I've become far less interested in physically forcing soil to behave. Instead, I focus on creating conditions where soil organisms do the heavy lifting. When microbes are active, the soil practically rebuilds itself. So if you're dealing with hard, stubborn garden soil, stop trying to beat it into submission with tools. Feed the biology that naturally loosens it from the inside. A simple microbial drench, combined with organic matter and consistent moisture, can transform compacted ground surprisingly fast. And if you're serious about growing better food, healthier plants, and building soil that improves every season instead of degrading, make sure you subscribe and share the channel. Practical knowledge like this is what turns ordinary gardens into productive ones, and the more growers who understand how soil biology really works, the better food we all end up growing.